Hey, Dean, welcome to today's broadcast. I'm glad you decided to come join me. I've gotten you a couple times this week.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know who we are, my name is Rob. I am one of the co-founders of Simply Be Found. My other part is Dean.
Yeah, I'm on this side, wherever.
Here, I mean, we could really kind of mess with it and go like that, and then
Yeah,
right
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Woo, look at that. Uh,
Woo-hoo. But anyway, the fun with technology. But no, I'm Dean, the other co-founder, and let's talk about some things, Rob. I'm getting a lot of
we get
questions.
asked a lot of questions, and today
Yeah,
we're going to go over those questions. The very first one we're going to go over is we're going to go over why we don't do reports and how you get a report on how you're being found on voice search, especially because I would say 70% of the phone calls I receive and then I hear that you're taking as well.
right.
People want to know about, well, how do I get a report? How do I know if it's working? How do I know if I'm being found on voice search? How do you know all this? So, Dean, how do you answer that?
You know what? Uh, I basically talk. First off, let me back up a little bit on that. I get more of that question from our agency members than I do these individuals. I don't think they spend as much time. So, do you get that too? I just want to see if you're getting that. That I'm not getting as much from the people that have just one location as the people that are doing multiples.
I'd
Yes,
say it's
no,
good. I'd say it's a good 50-50. Now, the reason why a lot of agencies want to do that is because they're trying to justify the cost that they're charging a small business or a
right,
local business for doing it, so that they think that business owners want that report. And I usually tell an agency most business owners don't care about the report. They care about how many phone calls are coming into them. They care about how much more sales are making, if they're getting
right,
more leads. They care about that type of thing. They really don't care about the
right.
fancier report they send them by
But
email once a
well,
month.
early on when we first started this platform, we did do reports, but we
We
had
did.
we had so much negative feed. Not it wasn't that we were reporting poorly. It's just that the reports we were generating weren't in sync with the actual search engines. Google would say, "Hey, you had 112 phone calls this week," and our report said you had 80. And they said, "Well, you're not doing the work. Well, why is Google showing more? You have this many visits to the website." The problem is with a report like that is we can't determine whether it's an organic search or a bot search, and so so many of those numbers get skewed. And I know that there's other ways of getting information, but it's so hard to say because of now, especially we just had that earlier this week we talked about AI. The things that are going on, it's going to get even harder to figure out what's actually happening, don't you think? I mean, but I,
It, it
but I basically say, we don't do reports. It's based on the number of calls you get and closings you get that's the biggest thing. But it's not a quantitative thing. It's a really the business owners have to pay attention to what's going on. That's my biggest comment that I make.
It is. Now, there's one caveat to that.
Okay,
When we first started and we had reports into the system and we allowed you as Simply Be Found to generate a report, we were only working with Google at that point for the most part.
true, true.
So since then we've added voice search listings, we've added AI listings. We are getting ready to add a bunch more networks. We work with up to 300 networks, depending on what category that business is, and depending on if they hide their address, their location, all these pieces depends on what networks you go out to,
Right,
and if you qualify for that network. But we weren't working with as many networks. There's not a single way out there. And if someone knows any different on this, I want to know about it. But there's not a single way inside of voice search to pull a report of how many people search for you. Alexa doesn't have that information. Siri just mixes that in with Apple Maps, doesn't say what it is going to be inside of there. Google Google just says you had this many call requests, this many driving requests, and their information depends on how you're accessing it can be older information or newer information. One day it might say this, the next day it's why I don't trust any reporting that
right.
metric.
And I just had a conversation where they said, "Hey, I get reports from where I'm at now," and I said, "Well, I would really like to know where the reports are coming from. I'd like to. I'm with you. I mean, my challenge is if somebody's getting reports and they're accurate, I want to know who it is. But I don't think they're accurate. I mean, that's my
They're
gut
not.
feeling.
And if it's agencies asking that question, which we work with a lot of agencies, we coach agencies, we have an entire agency plan. that I
Gotcha.
still haven't put up on the website yet, and I'm still working on getting that there. So that's on me. But we have an entire agency plan that we do a lot with. And what I tell all of them is go set up a Looker account. Looker is a Google product, but you can bring in your YouTube, you can bring in Google Analytics, you can bring in Google Business Profiling, bring in Bing. I think you can even bring in Apple into that. Don't quote me on that, but you can bring all this information in, and then you can generate a report and say, okay, this is whatever outlook you want to be able to show based on the information you're going. We use that inside of the data science world.
Okay. Okay. And that is that really the only one, do you think, or is that the best one out there for? I mean, there's some you can get that, but
You go pay thousands of dollars for a piece of software, but
right,
this one's free, so you might as well use it.
exactly. And we're all about keeping the cost down for small businesses. That's why we have these conversations,
I
basically. But
mean, it's a huge concept. It's a huge piece. I mean, there's so many different pieces that you can go through and do. But I mean, if you're looking for a report on any of that, I think basically most of the reports are BS. If you really have to show that information, or you really want to see that information, you have a lot of data points to track, and how you track that information and how you use it is best. I personally like our SEO score and how it's looking at everything as a whole. I mean, and that's getting a total redo. Anyway, I mean, that's getting redone. We're getting ready to add a bunch of other networks just to kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit.
yep,
We're getting
yeah,
ready to do.
yeah. I thought we
That'll
were
be
going to talk about that today.
right, right. That'll be Wazee, Yellow Pages, and a
Yeah,
bunch of others that are going to majorly kick some butt. But I
yeah,
mean, it's a matter of, and that'll be on our next release. It's not out there now, so now you
right.
just
Yeah,
a little bit of a sneak peek when you make it 6 minutes into one of our recordings. But it's one of those things to where there's so many pieces that could go in there. What are some other common questions you get when you're on a call, Dean?
oh, you just put me on the spot because I just went brain
Yeah,
dead all of a sudden. But oh, the biggest thing I have is people really don't understand how the social media works. Sometimes they always want to know a little bit more how important that is. A lot of, and we go through and explain. I go through and explain. Well, social media still has its value. And
it
they said,
does.
we don't have time to do Google and Facebook at the same time. I said, our platform allows you to do it in one stroke. You put the information in there, and so the biggest thing is just get started. I mean, give it a try. I mean, if you start with the $25 plan because you want to be out there on more than just Google, which where most of our people land, get started with that. If you need help, go up to the our coaching plan. We talk about we're here to support you for whatever you need at that point in your business, and it's just a lot of conversations back and forth versus a specific question is like but the biggest one is, well, I spent $400, I'm not getting anything for my listings, and I go, well, a one and done doesn't really help you. I mean, we talk about all the different things. It's all consistency. We go back to the three pillars. We always go there, and for content, authority, and trust, and it's really it's all about that and everything. So for some
It
reason
is.
you're a little bit foggy on your video right now, Rob. For some reason, on your
I
state.
think my internet's going up and down for some reason. I really can't
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, I didn't know if your camera is glitching on you a little bit or what happened. So I digressed there a little bit, but no, it's just really more so conversations about what businesses need. I mean, the person in LA needs a different conversation than somebody in a small rural community in Kansas. I mean, it's
I do.
it's just different. I mean, and that's why it's so hard to just nail down questions that are specific like that. It's really, and that's why you and I try to take most of the calls because and talk to most of our members on a one-on-one. We have our other staff that does the emails and chats, but
You and I do 100% of the calls. We don't have anybody else on phones with
right,
us.
right. So that's why if you don't get us, leave a message. We'll get back to you. It may not be in 30 seconds, but we will get back to you. And
It's amazing. It's amazing to me, Dean. I had somebody try to call us at 11 o'clock on Saturday night.
yeah, and then they probably try. And
And they
I'm
tried. They tried 5 times. I finally listened to their voicemail, and all they want to do is find out what our pricing was. And I was like, "This is why I don't keep my phone on at night."
right, exactly. And I'm not trying to be mean, guys. Everybody, if you made it this far in the video, I love you for wanting to check us out, but
Right.
don't just keep calling back. Leave a message. Set up a calendar link. I mean, it's all set up. We use an AI, everybody, because
We use Curious Things. If you have ever called our number, it's Lucy. It's from CuriousThings.io.
yep,
They're a great company. They work better. I mean, we hired a whole company that had people at home answering the phones and doing call answering and taking messages and scheduling appointments with a live person. We got worse results out of that because of background noise, consistency, everything else than having the AI do it.
right. Or they took
AI has its place. AI does great at certain things. There's certain places I think it should stay the hell out of, but
right.
that I think
No,
it's a great
but,
use.
but for that thing, if you just need to set up a time, it'll hook you a calendar link with us, or the whole. I mean, we're there. We'll be responsive for you. And then
Yep.
the other thing is members. Make sure that you use our support system. We have a great support team that can help you out. I mean, you don't have to talk to us on the phone either. That's the other thing is, I said, well, put it on the support ticket because if you talk to you or me, we get really busy during the day, and sometimes we drop the ball. And I just had that
I've
happen.
never
And
dropped the ball before.
you know what? I can do two, but I can't do three. You know, but no, but the support ticket is a better way to go if you have just simple questions, and then we can send you links for training. I mean, I really digressed on this whole thing on the questions,
We
but
did.
but
Man, there's not a lot of questions that are out there. The main things of how can I get my business found, where what kind of how do I know if it's working? Which you know if it's working if you're getting more phone calls, seeing more sales, and having traction there. And the other piece is what's your pricing? If you go to our website, click on pricing, it'll tell you
right,
exactly what our
right,
price is.
exactly, and then usually they I think a lot of times I think people just want to know that we really exist, and we do. We really truly do.
We
But
do. I have not found out how to create an avatar of myself yet and make that an AI to where it sounds and talks like me. And my wife told me over on Father's Day, when we were talking about that, and I was joking about it with the girls. She told me that would be the day she leaves me when I can actually come up with an avatar that is me because having two of me around would be too bad.
yeah, what was that an old movie with Michael Keaton or whatever, Multiplicity or something like that?
Something
I did.
like
It's an old. I'm dating myself a little bit, guys.
you are old.
Yeah, I know. It is. Do you know his real name is Michael Douglas?
Really?
Yeah, he was friends with some cousins of mine back in Pittsburgh area. And if
Huh.
I got it wrong, I thought I got it wrong. But anyway, I'm name dropping here and going, hey, I know somebody through connections. I don't really, but
I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. You know,
uh,
we're all connected in some way.
I know it. I know it. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point of what we do too. I mean, it's all connections. I mean, we know here, we know there, where things are at. But I really like to go down rabbit holes, and you know how I like to just talk about just about anything. So I apologize for taking you away from the questions and answers so far.
Well, there we go. I don't even know where we were with that one. So if you like our ramble list, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully, this answered your question about reports and what we end up doing for that and why we don't do it. For one, we are real. We don't bullshit around. We might bullshit on these YouTube videos, but we don't bullshit you on what's happening. Either you're
Right,
getting results or not. And if you're not getting the results you're looking for, and you're a member of ours, we want you to send in a support ticket and tell us if you're on a done for you plan and you're not getting the results you're looking for. You need to send in a ticket and bug us and say, hey, it's not working because we can't see how many times your phone rang. We can't see how many people came in your front door, and we have no idea if it's working or not. So if you don't communicate that back to us, it's not going to work for you.
absolutely, 100%.
And that goes for your agency too. So if you hired somebody, I don't care if it's a neighbor kid down the street or if you paid buku bucks for a marketing person, if you don't tell them that your marketing's not working, they have no idea it's not working. They have no idea that they should be working on a fix to be able to help you out.
Gotcha. I agree. I agree.
So that's my end of my rant on that
So,
one.
so
But thanks for joining me today, Dean. I really appreciate it.
thanks for putting up with me. I love everybody that watches these. Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
Right now.